Okay, this part of the movie is about the request for reasonable accommodation form that Thurston County has. And I fill in the case number, which is a civil domestic violence case that my wife falsely accused me of. I was never the abuser, she actually was. And as you can see, there's my address and my phone number, and I'm the defendant in that case. And it says list all known dates and times the accommodation are needed. Basically, this is a request for special accommodation to communicate effectively with 4K streaming videos and dialogue back and forth in a way that accommodates my disability. So basically, once we start in one case, I wouldn't want to stop. It would just be forever. And also, I actually will file separate forms for different cases, but frankly, once I have your permission to communicate with you with 4K videos on the internet and emails and smartphone and Zoom US online meetings, I won't really need to ask over and over again for each case. I don't believe, because once it's approved, it'll work for everything forever. But I'll go ahead and fill out the forms as we go for each case, just to follow your procedures. Why is this accommodation needed? I would like certain key individuals to give me formal permissions to dialogue with them in video. This is because the technology that I use to accommodate my disability, they actually require you go beyond just publishing your contact information on your website, and that would entitle me to communicate with you digitally by email, that kind of thing. They actually want you to formally fill out a form and for me to give you access to that form so you can revoke those permissions or alter them. Okay, here's the digital permissions page, which is so important to accommodate my disability. And as you'll see, the marketing and the communication permissions are actually different things. Or change your contact information. They're a world-class outfit, MailChimp.com, Wix.com, and basically there's laws that govern the kind of technology I use, and they're just real strict that I really can't communicate with you the way I need to accommodate my disability without getting those formal permissions online. Otherwise, they could actually take the technology that helps me assist with my disability away, because I kind of skip their procedures to get those formal permissions from the people I'm dialoguing with. So the next topic is what accommodation would I like and why? Well, basically, I have a twofold disability that came from Willamette dental malpractice, where they essentially basically disabled me for the rest of my life. And one is a severe deformity like burn victims. So basically I do things to basically mask my deformity so people aren't prejudiced against me. Also, mayhem and deformity is a real self-esteem issue, and I can be effective at communicating because the moment someone sees a burn victim or someone with deformity, they basically are just so turned off by that they don't even hear the words that are being said. And number two, I have the side of my face goes into extremely bad spasms without warning, and I have to stop talking. And of course, video technology helps me assist with that. Basically, I can make a video, and if this happens, I can just pause the video and then continue on. So this technology of videos is actually wonderful to help someone with severe disabilities like me appear normal, and no one actually has to know I have a disability other than the people that I ask to fill out the form for special accommodations. And even then, a lot of people will fill out those forms just because me and my business partners are very responsible, and they actually appreciate the modern way we communicate, and they just trust that I'm not going to spam them, or somehow the website or the email is going to infect their system with the virus, because we're all very trustworthy software vendors. Please provide any information that would help the court respond to your request. Basically, I use leading edge technology and video delivery systems to accommodate for my disability, but as I mentioned, the same delivery systems are real strict on when and how I use this technology to assist my disability. And there's a formal permission page on my website that I actually have to get people to fill out in order to use this in order to use this technology and not have it taken away from me because I violated the rules of my business partners. How would I want to be informed of the status of the request? In other words, whether it's denied or accepted. Basically, I'd like you to begin using Zoom US online meetings and just send me a request link, and I'll click on that, and we'll interactively discuss your decision whether to accept or reject my request, and I'll have a 4K video recording of our online dialogue for my records. Depending on what happens, that video recording will be very necessary. So the next part I was going to look at was your basic philosophy and your promise, basically, to people submitting accommodation requests. And it's actually pretty encouraging. I certainly hope you practice what you preach. But basically, it says, must all requests be granted? It says no. If, however, the applicant qualifies, the court will deny an accommodation request only if it would cause undue burden, if it would fundamentally later in court proceeding, or would threaten someone's safety or well-being. The court must explain how requested accommodation meets one of these criteria. That's actually very encouraging. It basically says you can't simply deny me. You actually have to have a very reasonable cause for it. So we'll see what happens.